AITA for cutting off my entire friend group after they tried to control my social media. This past year, I became friends with three girls who were already very close to each other. They seemed to be in their own little bubble, always hanging out together, sharing inside jokes, and generally being very tight-knit. From the start, I often felt like an outsider in the group. Even though they included me in their plans, there was always this unspoken feeling that I was on the periphery of their friendship. Despite this, I tried not to let it bother me too much. I figured that maybe with time I would feel more connected and truly part of their circle. One of the girls, let's call her Sarah, developed a massive crush on a guy she had almost no chance with. It wasn't just any crush, though. It was one of those intense infatuations where she went out of her way to learn everything she could about him. She even knew things like his mom's name, where he grew up, and all sorts of details that most people wouldn't care to find out unless they were seriously interested. Sarah was so obsessed that she wanted to add him on Snapchat, and she was constantly talking about it. One day, while we were all hanging out, Sarah mentioned that she was thinking about adding him on QuickAdd. I casually said, "Hey, I already have him on QuickAdd. Do you want me to add him so that he shows up on yours?" I was just trying to help out and make things easier for her. But the moment I said that, all three of them shouted, "No," in unison. I was taken aback by their reaction, but I didn't make a big deal out of it. I just thought it was strange that they were so adamant about it. A few days later, Sarah finally worked up the courage to add the guy on Snapchat herself, and to her surprise, he accepted the request. They started texting a bit, and she seemed over the moon about it. But then, out of nowhere, she sent me a message saying, "Hey, you can unfriend him now." I thought it was a bit odd, but I decided to have a little fun with it. I didn't respond right away because I found it amusing that she assumed I had added him after all. Not long after, she sent the same message again on a different app, asking me to unfriend him. 10 minutes later, she texted me yet again, this time with a more urgent tone. Unfriend him. At this point, I was starting to feel uncomfortable. Her behavior was becoming increasingly obsessive, and I couldn't understand why she was so fixated on this. Then, 5 minutes later, she messaged me again, saying, "I saw your Snap score go up. I know you're online. Unfriend him now." That's when I realized how seriously she was taking this. Finally, I responded with a simple message. "I never friended him, lol." I thought that would be the end of it, but she replied with just 2 words. "Forget you." That's when I knew our friendship was likely over. We haven't spoken since that day, and honestly, I don't feel bad about it. Looking back, I realize it might have been wrong to ignore her messages, but it just felt so ridiculous at the time. A lot has happened this year, and I've been dealing with my own issues, so I didn't think much of it. But now, I'm wondering if I was wrong for not taking her seriously or for eventually cutting off the entire group. So, AITA,